Yeah, I thought I just had to work with almost since I'm
It's
the guy that
possible to
made
do it though.
that salif. It's possible. I'm
Of
still on the
course,
quest to do it now. I'm gonna make it happen. She's one of
you're
my
gonna make it
favorites. I
happen.
know I've been wanting to, at some point in my life, I wanted to happen for myself. I think I'll get there,
Yeah,
but it was
of course.
like, I don't know. I grew up to that music. My dad plugged me to that music, and it was
Beautiful.
really amazing, man. Being so young and already wanting to work with such legends.
You know what?
I
I
remember
have
I
to.
used to DM Blick,
You used to DM
Blick.
who?
I used to DM
Brick Bussy.
Blick Bassi. Yeah, when Blick Bassi dropped the first release with Johnny, was it Johnny Montana? I think it's Buam.
Uh,
Buam. That's the name of the song. Buam.
okay, yeah, okay. I'm not familiar with it, but yeah.
Yeah, they dropped a joint. They dropped a joint album, and I like the vocals. The French vocals. I used to DM Blake so much, so bad. I
He
still
responded
do.
to you?
I still want to work with it. Blake started responding to me recently,
Okay, good.
honestly. Then,
Because I know
then,
him, so I could connect you guys eventually by
yeah,
IG, send him a message and say, yo, link up with Dark, you know.
Blake started. Yeah, Blake started responding to me recently. By then, it was just I was 16, and I knew already at that time who I wanted to work with, and I knew how I wanted to direct myself. You know, I knew I was in Vegas DMs that time, so I was in your DMs
Yes,
sending you
sir.
texts,
Yeah, I wanna. You
and
know what? I wanna add
it's
to what you're saying,
amazing that.
but I want to add to not to cut you, but just to add to what you're saying, and that's something as a reminder for me as well, and for everyone, anyone watching, you know, resilience and not holding a grudge, because you could have easily, because a lot of people, I know a couple of people that held grudge against me because I was not responsive, I was not this, and it's like for me, because that's exactly how yeah, I was. I mean, I'm still a hustler, but I was a serious hustler. Like I was hustling my way up, working hard and making strategic moves and talking to the right people or trying to understand who was vibing with who and trying to make these connections. And I respect that because look at here, we are now talking, and it took you that long, but it didn't take you that long neither. So it's as you
True.
said, consistency and making sure that you always drop records that made an impact,
Make
and
a
boom.
difference.
And he took that
Yeah,
conversation on Twitter, and I heard you speak, and I was like, okay, I like the way this guy speak. I didn't know he could, sometimes because you don't know people, you're like, oh shit, oh, I
yeah,
didn't know.
true.
And humility. I'm big on humility. And just from the tone of your voice and how you spoke, I could hear the humility. So I was like, all right, cool. I want to have this guy on the show because
That's
that's
so
what it
true, man.
is.
I don't see a need, or I did not see a need to hold grudges against people that did not respond at that time. Because
Hmm.
I'm a firm believer of timing.
Amen.
And if I was 16, bro, I was 16, in between 16, 18. When I look at it now and I go through my DMs, I understand now.
Hmm.
I know now how you felt when you got a DM from me at that time. You can't save the world, you can't help everyone. Maybe you can
I think to
give a
respond to what you're
few
saying, it's not that you cannot save the
opportunities.
world, but at
You
the
can
time, I
you
did not
could
have
open that one DM and
I didn't have the perspective on the sound that you were doing. So it's like anything, right? If you come to someone and you cannot show them a body of work that speaks the volume of your creativity, it's hard. And on top of that, we're
true,
talking about Umu Sangare.
true.
Do you know how hard it has been for me to reach Umu Sangare? And I'm like, hey, this guy wants me to put him in touch with. I'm like, dude, I will do it, but how good are you?
Exactly. That was your reaction. That was
I
your
was like, yo,
reaction. That
yeah, I
was
remember.
exactly your
And now I
reaction.
remember, I
I
remember
wish I
speaking
could
to you
find that
about.
message.
I said, hey, do you know how long it took me, how hard it has been for me to get to that woman,
Mm.
and you just want me to give it to you?
And now only now I understand.
Yeah. But it's amazing that again, and I appreciate that, and that's a part of the humility that you have that really needs to be spoken of, because and because people may not know, but this is the first time actually interacting with you. Like, I mean,
Now,
besides that time we spoke, and the last week we spoke on Twitter with Shimza. This really is the first time I'm getting to know you as well. So that's what I find amazing about this internet and this platform and this COVID thing as well. It allows us to, connect with people that we would have not probably connected had it not been
yeah,
for this.
yeah, true. I feel like the whole COVID thing is a reset, man. It's a reset button. As bad as it is, it's got some good in it.
Hmm.
It's
It
connecting
does.
people. I feel like if things were normal, we wouldn't have time to do this.
No.
I would still wouldn't know you. Uh, I had the, it's so funny, bro. I had the opportunity to meet you in Lisbon,
Hmm.
but I was just so occupied in other things. The last show Shimza did in Lisbon, you were there,
Hmm.
and I was
Hi.
that was in 2019 at an arena somewhere.
And how come I did not?
Where was it? In
Did I
Lisbon,
so
yeah.
did we? Ah, man, because I have a very good memory, man.
That's
But like, yo,
we
okay, all
didn't
right.
meet. I was I chose because I wanted to
Hmm.
watch the show. Uh, we were in a group. We were a lot traveling in a group, and a few of us chose to watch the show from the general side of the show.
Hmm.
So Shimza and the other guys went to the back. And when
Hmm.
Shimza came back, he told me he was with you. I was like, damn, bro, you know, why didn't you call me? He's like, bro, we don't have phones. Oh, I'm like, oh, damn. Because they were like, we were like, yo, man, we want to have fun. We're in Lisbon, and I don't want to do VIP and do. I'm gonna go enjoy the show,
Yeah,
and it was nice
yeah.
because no one knew me.
Of
I was
course,
there
of
like.
course. It's a different feeling.
So when Shimza came back, he's like, man, I was with Boddhi. Like, I was like, wow, bro. Like, but I guess it'll happen because we
Yes,
had to
sir.
leave quick. We left, and in the car, he told me that he's like, I was actually that show was dope. I was with Boddhi backstage. I was like, oh, bro. But no, it's not a train smash. I just thought we'll meet because we frequent in Lisbon, and
Yeah, yeah.
I moved to Lisbon. So I told Buddy. Kevin was like, oh, sure, we can make it happen. That's cool.
Sounds
And
good.
unfortunately, the whole COVID thing happened. We got cut off from traveling.
Yeah,
And the good thing is, I'm traveling to Lisbon in a week or so.
I'll be seeing you.
And I'm hoping that we link up this time.
No,
I'm
no, no.
going
There's no
backstage
hope.
this time.
I'm in town. I'm in town. I'm in town, and we're gonna be linking up. We're gonna be chopping proper food together.
So
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Lisbon
We're
is
gonna
so
make it happen.
amazing, bro. Like I feel like
It is.
Lisbon is the only
Mm.
town, the only city in Europe
Hmm.
where I feel like I'm not in Europe. Like I connect so much. I resonate with it. Like I connect so much with
100%.
Lisbon.
100%.
It's so warm, welcoming.
Yes, sir.
The
Absolutely.
the food
That's
is
why I choose to be
amazing.
here
The
and live
people are
here.
amazing.
Yeah,
It's
man.
just home for me, man.
Yeah, man.
I would live.
Yeah.
I actually so funny. I tell everyone if I had to move from South Africa and go live anywhere in the world, I would move to Lisbon
Well, you'd be
because I
you'd be
love it. I
you'd be
can
really
walk the
comfortable
streets.
here, man. Yes, sir. And even
It's
if
so
you're
comfortable.
super known, even if
I
you're super
can
known,
literally
people here
walk the
are
streets
cool.
anytime.
They're not like they're not overwhelming. Like they'll meet you in the wall and say, "Hey, can I take a picture?" And you take a quick picture. It's cool. Like it's not really.
Yeah.
The fans here are not like crazy, crazy. Like some of them
It's,
get a little bit excited, but it's nothing compared to probably what you experienced in South Africa and other places in the world. But it's pretty. Lisbon is really
nah,
the spot.
true. South African. The South African crowd is not that much overwhelming. You know, you can walk the
Good.
streets in South Africa and take a few photos at the mall, shopping, still be able to do your shopping, you know. It's not I feel like that's why I like Lisbon. It's some sort of it it connects with South Africa. I feel like I'm home.
It
It's
does,
so
and
crazy
there's a big Portuguese
and
community in South Africa.
a huge Portuguese community. And I feel like that's the reason why Kevin enjoys South Africa so much. Kevin
Yeah.
lives in Lisbon, comes to South Africa, he can be here for a month or two, and he connects with it so much. He
Yeah,
enjoys it,
yeah,
and the same way I enjoy or we enjoy Lisbon,
yeah.
enjoys it. So Lisbon is don't know. People don't know
People
because
don't know,
we
but
so used
they're
to the
finding out.
common countries when we tour, you know, Paris, you know,
I mean,
and they don't know how
every
much of a
city has
beautiful city it
has
is.
its own
The
vibe
club
to it.
scene is, yeah, true. That's true.
If
I
you're
don't think I
looking
would
at
live in Paris.
no, Paris is not for me neither. I can't live in Paris. I like going there, visiting, but then I'm always very happy to leave. Um, but Amsterdam, I really like Amsterdam. Amsterdam rocks. Oof, Rotterdam as well.
Yeah, true. Same here. I don't see myself.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't see myself living in Berlin as much as they've got a dope
No.
electronic scene, but
Mm-mm.
no, my style.
Not for me neither. Not for me neither. So tell us a little bit about
And
your starts, because I wanna.
and the meat in
You
Portugal.
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No, no, you can go on. I was just saying the meat in Portugal. I love the meat. There's a favorite spot of ours. I
Hey,
think it's
bro.
called Chimarrão.
No. So Shimarao is is
The
a chain
best.
of restaurants, but and I know, because when I came to the first time in Portugal, I would always ask Nuno, my agent, and beg him to take me to Chimarrão. Every time I would come, I was like, please take me to Chimarrão for that Brazilian,
Every
rodizio.
time.
Oh man.
That's the first thing I'm gonna do when I land in Portugal. Go to Chimarrão.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right. Well, definitely, so when we meet, I guess I'm gonna have to make sure I take you to a spot where there's proper BBQ.
Please. Please.
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like
Please.
a plan. We're gonna do this time,
I
man.
would appreciate that.
So, talking about your career and talking about, were you being so determined already at 16? You were already listening to sounds that probably kids of your age at the time were not necessarily popular for some kids of your age at the time. Um, but as you evolved and you grew to become who you are now, and who you will be tomorrow, tell us a little bit about that journey, man. How did that come about? Like, what were some of the important milestones as you grew in the scene?
Man, for me, honestly, it's been really amazing, man. You know, I caught on to it quick because I grew up in a family that loves music. My dad introduced me to a whole lot of music. My father introduced me to Salif, to Hume, to Omar Sangare, to Baba Mal. And I was so young, man. Kofi, uh,
Kofi Olomide. Oh,
the list,
nice.
yeah, the list is so long. I listened to Kofi Olomide. I was so young when my dad would play me Kofi. Kwasa Kwasa. That music, yeah. So,
Good shit, man.
like, yeah. So I grew, a different type of love for African music because that's all he would play me. He would
Amen.
play me a lot of African music, and I would just do my research. Who is Salif? Who is Kofi? Who is Baba Mal? You know, and I just grew interest, and I started loving that music so much because the rhythm is so amazing, And I know I could at an early age I could tell the difference between West African music, Central African music, and South African music. I could tell. I knew the time signature on the snares. The first time I heard your music, I knew
Hmm.
you were probably from Central Africa
Oh yeah.
because of the swing on the snares of Central Africa.
Yes, sir.
It's
Yes,
so,
sir.
yeah, they're so Central Africa. So I
Yeah.
started understanding those elements at a very young age.
Hmm.
I could hear the the guitars, the strings from Mali. I could hear
Hmm. Hmm.
it's so typical. It's got this rhythm to it, and it put me in a position where I I could sort of then know what I wanted to do and who I wanted to work with and how I wanted to sound. What sound serves what culture or what community, at a very
Yeah.
young age. And I just went with it, man. I started making music, experimenting with music, and I don't know if it's unfortunate or it's fortunate. At some, unfortunately, let me just say that at some point
Hmm.
I had to find myself moving or shifting my focus a bit so that I could just become a little bit commercially appealing to
Hmm.
the South African markets, you
Of
know,
course.
because I
That's
had
normal.
dreams. I wanted to, yeah, I wanted to become a big deal in South Africa. And at that time, deep house was the thing in South Africa.
Yeah.
I shifted from Afro, I shifted from Afro to a bit of soulful house
Hmm.
and got on and did my research. Who are the top kings in soulful house? I made songs with Robert Owens. I made songs with Paul Randolph.
Yes, sir.
I made
Salute,
songs
salute,
with
salute to the both of them.
Wumi. I, I still added that African element in it. I have a song with Wumi from Nigeria.
Hmm.
The first Wumi song I knew I was probably 15
Hmm.
was Live Your Life. The enemies of
Big
life
tune.
will tell you. Yeah, it was a big tune in South Africa. And
Hmm.
I would, because my brothers would buy original CDs, I would like
Hmm.
read, like, who's this? A lot of people did not know who was singing on these songs. I would
Of
read
course,
who's
yeah.
singing on the songs, for me, and I would memorize that. When the social media wave started with Facebook, people like Wumi, people like you were my first friends on Facebook, you know, because
Wow.
I knew right then. It was like, bing, bingo. The easiest way I can communicate with these guys is through this platform, you know.
100%.
And and I've always
Hmm.
shot for the stars in terms of making music. I always know
Hmm.
who I wanna work with, and I always go for it. On my
100%.
first album, as I said, on my first album, I had Robert Owens, I had Paul
Hmm.
Randolph, I had Wumi, I had Daryl DeBeno, I had Black Coffee on my first album. And I was so
Wow.
young. I think I
Wow.
was
Wow.
18, 19.
So
I
that's
I
two
had
years,
Halo.
and you already managed to get that.
2 years, I already managed to make an album so solid, you know. And apparently, to according to some people, that's my best body of work. And I feel like I'm only getting better, but I think it's amazing because of the time it was put out. Such a young
Hmm.
kid with amazing collaborations on the album.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
It was truly amazing.
Hmm. Hmm.
And when I achieved that, I was like, okay, cool. What do I do after? Right? I
Hmm.
I've always wanted to make a song with Robert Owens, and I've done it. Then what else? What's next? Still, I was not commercially appealing for South Africa. I was okay. I needed to come back to South Africa and make music for South Africa. And I made the biggest song in South Africa. I produced the biggest song. I produced and wrote the biggest song in South Africa. It's
Which one is it?
it's a vernacular rendition of it's a vernacular rendition of Take Time to Know Her. I
Okay.
forgot who's behind Take Time to Know. I don't know if you remember Take Time to Know Her. It's not an overnight thing. Such an old song. My dad used to
Sounds
love.
familiar. Let me look it up.
And yeah, I made my own version of that song
Percy
called
Sledge. Okay.
Inquisition. That's
Per,
straight
Percy.
Percy
Ah,
Sledge.
Ecclesiasm.
Percy
Yes.
Sledge.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah. So that song became the biggest thing in South Africa. A huge
Wow.
song. It became a huge song, but this is my biggest mistake because I did not. I wanted to be commercially like when you're young. I wanted to be commercially
Mm.
appealing, but also I do not want to be too commercial. I don't know how that works, but at that time I was like, the song is so cheesy. I don't need my name on the song.
Ish.
So what I did is it was Goth and Gerald because there was a guy Goth and a woman Gerald singing on it.
Mm.
So I was like, nah, let's just name it Goth and Gerald. That's cool. We don't have to have my name on this one.
Ish. Big mistake.
Song
Beginner's
blew up.
mistake.
Man, big mistake, bro. Biggest mistake. Huge song. And it's so funny that I spend so much time with Zakes lately,
Hmm.
like that I made that song.
But did you
And
make
I
money
can
out of it
mention
or
that
not
song.
at all?
I'm like, bro, hold on. Bro, I made okay money. And
Okay.
I did not make money, that much money, but okay, it wasn't crazy. I did not know how to exploit the song. I did not
Yeah.
even do anything to exploit the song. I
I
wouldn't
get it.
even lie. But it's more of I would say it's more of if I knew then what I know now. You know,
That's why
it
you learn, right?
so that's how you learn. So that's that's how I know that if I can make hits, I know how to make hits.
Hmm.
It's just that the timing is what you
That's
learn
right. Exactly.
as you go,
Exactly.
right? The making the music in studios comes easy. I know what I
Mm.
need to do to get the inspiration to make the right song, but it's the timing that's important.
Absolutely.
So I don't think right now I'd repeat the same mistakes. It was a mistake. It was okay, and I moved on from there. Did not give up. Made more music.
Mm.
Made another album. I had dope collaborations on the album also. You know, I decided, okay, the second album, I'm gonna title this album "This Is Africa." So I'm gonna work more with African artists. I've done
Hmm.
your Robert
Hmm.
Owens, Paul Randolph. I'm okay. Let me move. Let me come back home. Let me make music
For the continent.